A nation should not be judged by how it treats its highest citizens, but its lowest ones. One cannot be prepared for something while secretly believing it will not happen. You will achieve more in this world through acts of mercy than you will through acts of retribution. Nothing is black or white. In my country, we go to prison first and then become president. Live life as though nobody is watching, and express yourself as though everyone is listening. There can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children. Freedom is indivisible. The chains on any one of my people were the chains on all of them. The chains on all of my people were the chains on me. What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead. Know your enemy, and learn about his favorite sport. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. May your choices reflect your hopes, not your fears. We know too well that our freedom is incomplete without the freedom of the Palestinians. There is no easy walk to freedom anywhere, and many of us will have to pass through the valley of the shadow of death again and again before we reach the mountaintop of our desires. I am not an optimist, but a great believer of hope. It is not where you start, but how high you aim that matters for success. Sometimes it falls upon a generation to be great. You can be that generation. Quitting is leading too. Let there be justice for all. Let there be peace for all. Let there be work, bread, water, and salt for all. Let each know that for each the body, the mind, and the soul have been freed to fulfill themselves. I am the master of my fate and the captain of my destiny. Your playing small does not serve the world. Who are you not to be great? It is what we make out of what we have, not what we are given, that separates one person from another. Without language, one cannot talk to people and understand them. One cannot share their hopes and aspirations, grasp their history, appreciate their poetry, or savor their songs. The brave man is not the one who has no fears. He is the one who triumphs over his fears. We must use time creatively, and forever realize that the time is always ripe to do right. When the water starts boiling, it is foolish to turn off the heat. There is a universal respect and even admiration for those who are humble and simple by nature, and who have absolute confidence in all human beings irrespective of their social status. I have never cared very much for personal prizes. A person does not become a freedom fighter in the hope of winning awards. I dream of an Africa which is in peace with itself. We owe our children, the most vulnerable citizens in any society, a life free from violence and fear. A good head and a good heart are always a formidable combination. Once a person is determined to help themselves, there is nothing that can stop them. If you want to make peace with your enemy, you have to work with your enemy. Then he becomes your partner. Peace is the greatest weapon for development that any person can have. Lead from the front, but don't leave your base behind. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. It is music and dancing that make me at peace with the world. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. When a man is denied the right to live the life he believes in, he has no choice but to become an outlaw. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. A good head and good heart are always a formidable combination. But when you add to that a literate tongue or pen, then you have something very special. It always seems impossible until it's done. Resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemies. For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. There is nothing like returning to a place that remains unchanged to find the ways in which you yourself have altered. Lead from the back, and let others believe they are in front. Do not judge me by my successes, judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again. I am not a saint, unless you think of a saint as a sinner who keeps on trying. As I walked out the door toward the gate that would lead to my freedom, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I'd still be in prison. There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart. As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. Appearances matter, and remember to smile. I am the captain of my soul. A leader is like a shepherd. He stays behind the flock, letting the nimblest go out ahead, whereupon the others follow, not realizing that all along they are being directed from behind. It is said that no one truly knows a nation until one has been inside its jails. A nation should not be judged by how it treats its highest citizens, but its lowest ones. Where you stand depends on where you sit. One of the things I learned when I was negotiating was that until I changed myself, I could not change others. A winner is a dreamer who never gives up. After climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's inspiring others to move beyond it. I could not imagine that the future I was walking toward could compare in any way to the past that I was leaving behind. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. No single person can liberate a country. You can only liberate a country if you act as a collective. Only free men can negotiate, prisoners can't enter in contracts. We must use time wisely and forever realize that the time is always ripe to do right. Money won't create success, the freedom to make it will. Success in politics demands that you must take your people into confidence about your views and state them very clearly, very politely, very calmly, but nevertheless, state them openly. Education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. There are few misfortunes in this world that you cannot turn into a personal triumph if you have the iron will and the necessary skill. If you want to make peace with your enemy, you have to work with your enemy. Then he becomes your partner. We forgive but not forgotten. Your victory has demonstrated that no person anywhere in the world should not dare to dream of wanting to change the world for a better place. For a revolution is not just a question of pulling a trigger, its purpose is to create a fair, just society. Courageous people do not fear forgiving, for the sake of peace. Thanks for watching Infinite Quotes Hub video. Comment to let us know your favorite quote and join with us with our next video, as it will enrich you externally as well internally. Please share with others.